What's up, YouTube? Check this out. Model 69 Winchester. I think it was discontinued in 1963, before I was born. I wasn't born until 68. But I like these kind. I like bolt actions and lever actions and stuff. More so than all of the automatic stuff. What's up, Damien? Damien's gonna come visit. He was grinding some stumps in a very socially distant kind of way, in case anybody's wondering about that. Me and Damien are mostly doing stuff around here, getting the yard ready, the equipment ready for whatever happens. Joe has been working the monkeybeaver.com, and yeah, we're just doing what we can, you know. You ready to go live?
Oh, I guess I better go back to my trunk now.
I don't have a chair.
Oh, come on.
I didn't expect company. Well, while we're waiting to start this story, look at this. This is sweet. I love this thing. I was going to show you, see the harness back there? I was going to show you how I was going to set it up DRT and show you how I fell, but I kind of ran out of time and I was late because I said I'd be here at 5, and so it's set up SRT from when I was building this treehouse. The roof part had to tie off because I'm not crazy anymore, and I was SRT, and so anyway, I'll just sort of tell you what happened when we get to that. Grab his coffee. Thanks. Good idea.
Yeah, no problem. I figured you were.
Social
I figured
distance.
you were thirsty.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
They still handed it to me with regular hands.
Oh, they did? No gloves, no gas masks?
No gloves that time.
We were thinking about making masks
Monkey Beaver masks?
for sale on monkeybeaver.com.
With like the Monkey Beaver face, like.
Yeah, you know, something kind of intimidating. We
Like
were thinking
teeth.
maybe like those ones, remember the plague? Like they had like a bird beak thing?
Yeah, those were called.
Even if it's a novelty, it would be.
I forget what those are called, but they stuffed them full of like super strong filling herbs.
Oh, yeah.
So those whole beaks were full of herbs because they thought, back then they believed that the air, it was like bad air that you were breathing in.
Could have been.
So they tried to like purify it by breathing in good smells.
Yeah, right. Potpourri.
Yeah, it was like potpourri and stuff.
I'd put coffee in mine, I think.
Yeah,
Like
that would be a pretty good one actually.
Yeah. So, yeah, I took the clip out, magazine.
What'd you see? There's a round right there.
No, that's
That's what I mean.
That's
just sitting there.
that's
Just sitting
that's
inside
nothing. Pay no attention to that. Yeah, that was half in the clip when I pulled it out.
Me and my brothers were like airsofting a long time ago, you know, shooting each other with airsoft BB guns. You know, and they're like, people are like, I got a full magazine and one in the chamber, you know. So you like are like intimidators thing. My brother runs over, he's all, I got a full chamber and one in the clip. We're like, dude, you only got 2 bullets. Cool. We started lighting him up.
Yeah, that
And
sounds
he's
kinda
like
fun.
running away with his 2 bullets.
Dude, I knocked my brother cold unconscious. Hey, how do you... Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Anyway, he was trying to kill me. I don't know. He had a BB gun and he was hunting me down.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a wrist rocket, you know?
Yeah.
And I felt like I was a little bit at a disadvantage, but he was on one side of the house, and we were doing that, you know, like literally, like this is
Yeah.
it. Somebody's gonna get hurt, right?
Yeah.
He was gonna shoot me, so it was like him or me.
I think I'd rather get hit with a BB gun.
Yeah, it ended up bad for him because I was always just a little bit faster runner than he was, and so he was I was waiting and looking down the side of the house, you know, outside. We're outside, and I see his head pop out. He like runs around and stops, and we look at each other, and then we have like this Clint Eastwood
And you're like,
spaghetti
you're sitting here
western
like this.
eye contact thing.
He's sitting here like this, and he's sitting there like that.
Oh, he was like, he knew he couldn't like shoot me because I would just duck back around.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at each other, and then I like read his mind. His mind said, I will run around the house and get behind him before he can do anything.
So he was gonna
shoot.
duck behind to make it look
He was
like.
gonna run around behind me. Yeah, but I knew what he was gonna do, and
Yeah.
I was like, I'm faster than he is, and when he gets to the other side of the house, I'll be waiting.
Yeah.
And when he came around the corner with his BB gun, he just was running, and he stopped, and I was
And he thought he
standing.
had you.
You know them wrist rockets? They hook around your.
Yeah, they come out and they support. So
They're
like when you're.
hardcore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the good ones.
They had rocks. I wasn't using ball bearings or nothing, but I was
I always
standing
use
like
rocks,
this. Just, I had it just ready.
Uh-huh.
And he came right around the corner and he stopped, and he was just like the deer in headlights for a second.
Oh.
And I was like thinking, well, there's only one thing left to do. And I was like, whack.
Bam.
And it hit him like Goliath, right? You know, right in the forehead.
That's
and,
hilarious.
He went down, and he woke up to me shaking him and saying, don't tell mom.
Don't tell mom. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's pretty funny.
That's not the story I came to tell you.
The classic "Don't tell mom" after you did something to
Yeah.
hurt them.
You want the chair?
No, I'm fine.
No?
I'm fine.
You can hang in that saddle.
Let's stand here. Where do you have that going? Oh, you got it going over that.
That's redirected over.
That's big, but it's
It's
clearly-
redirected, see? Over
Clearly.
that little thing from the fir tree. It worked good because as I was working on all of this stuff.
Oh, that's perfect like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know it'd be strong enough. You can like lean off the side.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy what you can really actually redirect off of.
Bungee cord technology.
Yeah, this is the first time I've been up here since.
It actually has its own security alarm, see? Mm-hmm.
You'd know if somebody was coming up for sure.
See those steps? Oh, what's cool is the guy that I shot between the eyes, my brother, he's the one that helped me build this, the steps part. He's way better at this kind of stuff than me, even after
He forgave you.
the brain injury. But anywho, where's my drink?
The guy I worked for today was pretty cool. He was all about those bubbly waters.
Oh
He's bringing me over. Well, he only brought me 2, and I got through like 1.5. But he was just like, "Oh, hey, let me know if you need more." Super nice dude.
They paid us more than we were gonna get.
Well, there was a couple of little extras,
Uh,
but we bullshitted a bunch. Like, it probably took me like 4.5 hours total. But then I ate lunch with him, and
right on. That's not bad for $2,000.
oh, you mean 3,000?
Oh yeah, 3,000. Yeah. Stump grinding is expensive, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was no rocks, so that adds to the price.
That adds happiness
Yeah.
to the price.
But then if there are rocks, that also adds price.
yeah, yeah. Just kidding.
So
It
either
wasn't
or.
$2,000.
Mm-mm.
But that's none of YouTube's business, really.
No.
Hey, whoa, what's this?
$20. What
A
is that?
super chat. I think
Get
I've
the
had
good ice cream?
Brian Floyd. I'm gonna do like Billy Ray and say thank you rather than get super duper awkward. But I don't know how to play the harmonica, and I don't know how to play the drums. But he does.
I can play the drums.
Should we have Damien come back with his drums and?
Set it up here.
Yeah, that'd be
That'd
fun.
be kind of fun.
Yeah, what would I do? Just like bang a tambourine or something?
Get you a, you
So-
could load that thing up a ton and then be like, psh, psh, psh,
Oh yeah. Well, I only got 5 shots in that.
psh, psh, psh.
Winchester Model 69. For those who didn't see it yet. It's pretty cool. I love the bolt actions. I
Yeah,
got
my
a
dad's got one kind of like that.
67 too, I think. It's single shot. The kind where you like pull back the hammer like that.
That's how my dad's is.
They're a little sketchy, like if you bang the hammer, they're
It'll
going
shoot,
off.
yeah. I never
That's
tried
another
that.
story
I never tried that.
that did not result in a
That's a pretty.
death of my brother, but it was close. Different story. Silliness.
That's
Kids.
a cool sight. I like the little circular sight on this.
Peep sight.
Pretty accurate.
Peep sight, that's called. Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna shoot my truck real quick.
Yeah.
Let's see how good I am. I'm going for the door handle. That's pretty cool, but
Probably make that truck look better. Isn't that a Dodge?
you know what the guy was just telling me at that last job? He worked for Dodge, I guess for a little bit after he got out of the military.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the reason the 5.9s are so good is because the engine was originally built for ships. And they needed a motor that was absolutely dependable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the most dependable truck ever.
Mhm.
Besides that one squeak it's got in the front.
My motor could power a ship.
Yeah.
That's what he's basically saying right
Yeah. My motor could drive through the ocean to China if I wanted to right now.
Nice weather from Ottawa, Ontario, I think that said. If I back way up, I can see the camera without my glasses on. As soon as I put my glasses on, then it's all messed up because I can only see here and I look away and it's blurry, and we know the drill. People know that. So hey, let's go into story mode. It is 1995, I think. And I fell. So check it out. I'm all super proud, thinking I'm really kicking butt. I'm like the climber that has kind of like a green belt in karate. Just about the time you're a green belt, you want to go practice your skills on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about the time you meet a big cowboy or something that doesn't know karate, but he has a belt buckle that covers his midsection.
Yeah.
And he's got pointy boots.
He's worked really hard.
And he
his
just
whole
goes,
life.
"Oh, karate!" And he kicks you in the shins. And you're done. But I was a green belt and a green belt climber, if there is such a thing. And showed up at this job, and I had a guy on the ground that didn't know a thing about tree work. He was there. He was a friend, and I basically brought him along to show him how cool I was.
Watch this.
Yeah, watch this. So,
You're gonna want to be like me after today.
and it didn't work out like that. So, I actually was going from tree to tree. I was taking out these fir trees, and I went up. I went to the top of this tree, and I was rappelling down DRT style, and I was slaying it so fast that I was rappelling with the Blake hitch in one hand and the 200T. Yeah, I think 95. I had my first two. I guess it would be a 020T. I think. Yeah, I think that was it. And I was cutting with one hand and rappelling with the other. I was just like, yeah, just like human, just paper shredder, just confetti.
You catching this?
Are you seeing how cool this is? So what's crazy is I was like 40 feet up still, and I was cutting, and I like kicked away from the tree, and I just fell away. like that. Just like with the anchor story, I ended up falling backwards, looking up, and I was watching this pom pom. So it's really weird, like when an accident happens, how
You remember one specific
well,
thing,
no,
but in its
it breaks
detail?
down. It breaks down microseconds into these long spread out.
It's almost like it gives you a little bit of slow motion,
I can see it
super
right now.
temporarily.
I can see it now. I mean, we're talking about a fast thing, right? I was watching a pom pom, like cheerleader, Austin. Thank you. I don't know what to think about this super chat stuff. I'm going to have to
I've never heard of it.
process whether I can. Anywho, as BBR would say, thank you. Hey, we're not making any money any other way, right?
Thank you, women.
Besides all those thousands we just made with stump grinding. Anyway,
Yeah.
what was I talking about?
Slow motion.
Oh yeah, slow motion. So I'm falling backwards. And I'm watching this pom pom go up the tree. Like it was like, it was basically leaving.
Oh, so you're watching Yeah, so you're
Oh,
watching
yeah, no,
that.
don't mess up my story threading.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So what was the pom pom thing? I actually didn't figure it out for weeks because you know how when you get seriously wrecked, you can't remember anything that happened. Like you're not sure what happened. That's the first thing they say. What happened? You got all these microsecond memories that you kind of remember really well, what right before or maybe even during some of it, but then you kind of don't know why any of this happened.
Yeah.
If you did, you wouldn't have done it,
Yeah.
right? So this is before I had a saw lanyard on my saw. This is before I had a hard hat. If we go way back, maybe tomorrow I'll tell you a story about how bad of a hack everybody is in the 80s and 70s and 90s and now maybe when they start out, the type of guys who will get into this, unless they're gifted with mentorship or some really cool somebody to show them how to not wreck themselves, they're gonna be the kind of crazy type who will do it without knowing how to do it. Okay, that was me.
I'd like to think I'd never had a hack stage because of the mentorship.
No, he never had a hack. Damien's lucky he never had a hack stage. He did wreck a tree one time when I was teaching him how to prune, and I kind of drove away and I came back and I was pretty horrified what happened. But the next tree he did after that was so epically perfect that
Once he told me what not to do.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
Like, oh.
yeah, he had this spruce tree lion-tailed so bad. I mean, it was like even the customer who doesn't know anything and
she was a
kind of
little
wants
old
to
lady.
trust us is like staring at it uncomfortably long. You know it's messed up.
With kind of an awkward face, like maybe she just sharded, but that's not the case. It's just the tree didn't look very good.
Yeah. So the thing is, we just kind of kept quiet about it, but we really felt. Anyway, let's not talk about that. That's ancient history, and if you go back and look at it now, it looks pretty good. So I'm falling backwards. I'm looking up. I'm seeing the pom-pom, and I'm thinking it's not like when I fell overboard with the anchor. When I fell overboard with the anchor, I was completely at peace, if that's what you call it. It was more like, not really peace, but just finality, like I said. But when I was falling out of that tree, I was terrified the whole way down because I thought I'm gonna break my back, and I must have said it in my mind 50 times as I was falling. Gonna break my back, gonna break my back, gonna break my back, because it's a long ways. And there was rounds, like 16-inch firewood rounds from the other trees I'd cut down all over the yard, and I'm falling
And
backwards.
if you land on one of those.
Yeah, and so I was like, I threw my saw, I just let it go, just surrendered it. And I was trying to reach forward to like grab a hold of something. but it's like when you're in outer space, maybe when they give themselves a thrust in space, they just keep going forever that direction until they stop. There ain't enough traction in air to do the Spider-Man and get back. There's no traction.
You wanted to grab that one leaf hanging from the crane ball.
Yeah. I couldn't get nothing. So I went like this, and I just kept going back, and then I landed super hard on the ground, and I feel the best way I could describe it, it was like getting punched by a fist the size of your body. That's what it was that radical. And it stopped me. I did not penetrate the ground, man. That was it. And I landed kind of a little bit on my side and on my right shoulder, and just kind of crumpled up. Wasn't really on my back. But that injury, the X-ray guy said my back was broken back in my lower back, but it wasn't something they could do anything about. And I think part of the reason they didn't do a lot to help me was I didn't have insurance. But what was really bad is my sternum. I hit so hard kind of on my side, it just wrecked my shoulder, and it popped my ribs. So my ribs were popped out like this.
Probably all the stuff holding it together was all stretched out.
All that cartilage was tweaked in here, and my clavicle is twisted, and still on this side it sticks out a little more than the other. So that was like 10 years of pain, and it wrecked things that I do, that I used to be able to do really well, like throw. I was really good at throwing. So like if you were at the lake and you were going to see which dude could throw the farthest
to the
out
other
into
side of the river
get the
or
furthest
something.
splash,
Yeah.
that would be me until I wrecked that shoulder, and that was it. So yeah, I fell out of a tree, and I got in an ambulance, and I rode, and I recovered, and it took quite a few years. So.
Now, do you have a picture of?
And I missed all the rounds. There was like an area of space between all the rounds on the yard. It was a lawn, big enough for me to crash, and it was just like a puzzle piece, like Tetris. Hit the ground.
That's why I put those there.
It was fortunate for sure that I didn't hit any rounds, and I didn't hit my saw. My saw 200T or the 020T was on the ground over there, just still running, just
Really?
waiting. Like, come on, get up, got work to do, like the skipper. But I was done. I went away in an ambulance, and it was about a month and a half before I could climb again, and I was terrified, but I had to get to work. So I was climbing with 3 tie-ins for a while. Like I would tie in 3 different ways, because I figured the problem, this wouldn't have happened. I was doing a bunch of things wrong. The main thing I figured that I was doing wrong was that I was only tied in once. And so here's what I did. That's what I was going to explain, is I had cut the rope below the Blake hitch, right?
So you must have had the Blake hitch semi-high for that rappel, coming down and cutting. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering how you got in here.
No, it was down. I had cut the rope somewhere down in there. Because
oh shoot! And then when you started,
and then when I went,
the little thing came up
away,
as you started.
and I went to rappel, and the frayed pom pom end of that rope shot through the knot, and it made no sense. It was like I was thinking.
Because you didn't see yourself cut it.
No.
And you just went free.
I somewhere in my lots of video that I have, I cut a rigging line one time. You can see it on the video where I cut the rigging line, but I I just watched it fall, and I was like, what the heck? And then on the replay, I found where I'd cut the rigging line. Stuff can happen. But that was that pom-pom going up the tree, was the cut end of that rope. And I was thinking, I can't be out of rope.
Well, and that's why it would be so confusing is that you cut it and you were still hanging.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know? Because it'd be one thing if you were here and you like saw it get cut, or you see yourself
Yeah.
cut the flip line.
No.
You'd be like prepared for, oh Lord, here I go.
Yeah, there was no
And then you try to
preparation.
grab all these branches that like aren't there in front of you and stuff.
It was back to that same old pride thing. Right at the time I thought I was the coolest, I got the carpet yanked out from me and down I went and I didn't know why.
Yeah.
So I ended up going back to work, and I had this period of time, I'm not kidding, it lasted a couple years, where I was over safe. I was safe to the point of screwing up how productive I was. And it took me a while to like tone it down and find a nice balance. But yeah, my dad, he found little bits of rope fiber. It was Arborplex. Some of you guys might remember that stuff. But Arborplex, that was the thing back then. I loved it. The Arborplex was all up in the side cover of, wrapped around the
Wrapped by your
chain and
sprocket and
stuff.
stuff.
My dad said, he came in and visited me and said that I must have cut the rope. And then, yeah, there's more to the story. There's more to the story, but
So do you have, don't you have a picture somewhere of a big bruise?
that's
It's a different thing.
yeah, it's a different one. I want to talk to the people. Well, I guess that's what I've been doing. But look at this.
But reply.
You can
to-
just, like, Buck and Billy Ray Smith is here.
What's up, Buck?
And he's got a wrench.
What's the wrench mean?
It means he's a moderator. So if somebody is,
That guy was glad that you survived August.
somebody was glad I survived. That's awesome. Yeah, it's another one of those things. And my mistakes can help other people from having mistakes. That was a costly one, and I still feel it.
Yeah. So
My
something to
lower
learn-
back is still got issues.
So something to learn from that is after you're slaying.
Since Buck and Billy Ray's here, that brings up the exercise ball thing that I saw from him. So we're talking about years of suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw him do this video a while back where he explained how he felt. So he explained what it was like for him to put on his boots and try to like function. And he talked about how having any weight out in front of you like this was the problem. And it's like, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's lame when your wife's all, here, hold the baby, and you're like,
Yeah. So
she's-
anybody listening that might have this problem,
yeah.
listen for the solution.
Yeah, so it was because he because he was able to describe exactly what kind of suffering I had been enduring, that
And
I
you felt like
believed
it was only
his
you,
solution
probably.
might be the ticket, right? So I got on the exercise ball and I started doing that, and like he said, who wants to do crunches? Crunches aren't that fun.
Neither are
Yeah.
burpees.
Yeah. So, but with the ball, you just balance on the thing. If I had one here, I'd show you. Maybe I'll show you how he does it. But I started doing that, and then because I'm kind of an extreme dude, I started overdoing it. I started going 60 seconds with 2 points of attachment, and and I ended up on the ball for 20 minutes a day, just like solid, and I wouldn't let any part of my body touch the ground, or else I had to do it over. And I started developing like
Crunches too.
this knot in my hip. So I was able to go to work and like do stuff around the house, and I feel like the Buck and Billy Ray ball totally saved my ability to work. But now I have like this problem with my hip. And I don't know if that's what it is, but I think I overdid it.
When I play drums a lot, I get a thing with my hip. It's like it pops out of place, and then I'll get up and walk, and I'll like thrust my hip forward, and it'll go and like
Click.
pop back into place.
Mine's like, it just feel like I need it to pop, but I can't get it to pop. And there's like this knot of muscle where the hip flexor is. And yeah, I'm not gonna complain though. I hate the sound of complaining.
I think we need to have you lay down and we'll hit it with a rubber mallet. And knock that knot back out of there.
Nah, it's not gonna work. It's
not
not gonna work.
Yeah.
So are we done? Should we go build a fire? Thanks to somebody, because it shows right there. It says $22. Somebody. That's neat. I've done the super chats when I've been watching videos before, just because it's like, it's so handy. It's like, here, have some money. You know?
I've never done it.
Yeah. Well, get on your phone.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
I'm not doing that. I'm not trying to. Yeah, it's an awkward thing. So, am I done? YouTube? Am I done? Should I like sift through these comments?
Yeah, you
A
should
bit.
reply to some people.
Thank you for all your videos. They come a little bit fast. Getting shut down for a month. I'm a climber in, I'm guessing that's New Hampshire, and it's gonna suck not doing it. But please keep the vids. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do vid every day, every single day. Missy Sue McNeil, thank you for being here. She's been here every day. Oh, look, okay, I was blocking the camera. Wash hands. Are my hands dirty? Oh, wait, no, that's, hey, you're too close to me.
I was here first.
We're not making light of it, people. We're kind of safe here. Jackson and Josephine County don't have any cases at all. They've been doing tests. Matthew Stoneman. You guys like the story? I mean, did I leave anything out? I guess you wouldn't know whether I left something out. Brian Floyd, thank you. Austin Malleus, $5. I currently work at Asplin and I'm thinking of branching out on my own. What are some things you can recommend for success or making it easier? Man, well, I guess we just proved it. That mentorship is huge. You can avoid a lot of pain and suffering if you get somebody you trust, somebody that won't kill you on accident or on purpose, to kind of watch over you. And how is it?
Yeah, I think tree work's pretty easy when you have good guys working with you.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things that you have to do in your position, but if everybody's paying attention on the ground, then it frees your job up to do one job, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure everybody that climbs would understand that, you know?
Yeah. So mentorship is a big one. Some more shooting of the old 22. Well, maybe another time. This guy, what else? Get some good gear. I guess you have to have a monkey beaver climbing harness.
Yeah, I couldn't climb without mine.
That's not true. I got my first harness in this newspaper called The Nickel, and I got it and the spurs for $75.
Nice.
And I went for years on that. Shoot the 22 from the tree. A good groundsman goes a long way. Yeah, you got to work with people that are fun to work with, that aren't too crazy. Basic gear should be good. Your ropes should be in good shape, new.
Make sure you're having fun with it.
Yeah, have some fun with it.
That's a big part. Like, it's a hard job already, so you have to make the best of it and make sure you're having fun. Or
Yeah.
You could be doing the exact same thing and making it miserable. So it's kind of like where your headspace is at when you're doing it, I think.
Matthew McDonald's talking about the work, good cleanup. Yeah, so making your customers happy
Do it
just
the way
have
you
to
would
be.
want your yard
Yeah.
cleaned up.
Well, within reason. Some
Yeah.
customers are out to get you in some ways. So you do what you said you would do, and maybe a little better than you said.
Usually, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, there's something to the balance of being good to people and not being a doormat at the same time. And
You-
that subject is coming up in a video that I've been promising for a long time, of all about how I bid jobs.
And then you kind of have to read your customer while you're going too. Like I think it goes a long ways to like if I'm on the ground and we're halfway through the job and it's a big prune and there's still wild hairs and stuff, you know, like sticking out the sides of the tree. Like I go and kind of like assure them halfway through and say, you know, all right, what our climber is doing is right now I can see you're looking at these over here that are sticking out. And right now he's got to work strategically. He can't just, you know, go right after the bad ones first. He's got to start high and make sure to get them. So
yeah, some
rest assured,
some micromanagement.
We are moving towards these here. And then like I feel like if you meet up with the customer halfway through the job and kind of explain to them what you've done and what you still have left to do, like it seems like it just relieves them and they start feeling good about the whole thing, that there's still an understanding between you and them that they're still going to get what they want in the end.
So basically what he's talking about is communication, not just in the beginning, but throughout. Beginning, middle, and end, good communication is awesome. Tell them what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. Get it in writing, unless it's like Aunt May, you know, your own cousin or something like that. But
yeah, it's definitely going to be on the paperwork too, because sometimes somebody will come up and they'll say something that's kind of like,
hey, your boss said you were going to do this.
Yeah, and then
you got to refer to the
paperwork. And then once it's on paperwork, we read it back to them, and then we make sure that they feel good with that. And you just say something like, okay, let me know if I left anything out. You know, this, no cleanup. We are cleaning these up. And I always tell them that we do everything all the way down to the raking and the leaf blowing too. But everything's got to be on paper. And then if something's not on paper and they're talking about it, you can just say, well, let me look at the paperwork and see if that was on there. And then they're like, oh yeah, the paperwork.
Yeah.
That'll say what the deal was.
Yeah.
You know, and then if it's not on there.
Yeah.
But there's a fine line.
Some people are a little bit slippery, so
I think there's a fine line
it's
where
a whole nother subject.
If it's a really cool customer that you want to be working for again, you know, there's little things you can do to give them a little extra that really like puts your name on like them as you're the tree guy.
Yeah, I'm calling this guy.
Yeah, because they didn't even say, you know, they went ahead and chipped that other little bit, or you know, dealt with my pickiness and went out for that other little piece of dead wood or something. You can't cater to them in the sense that you're gonna get walked on, but just being like friendly and, you know, doing like a favor every once in a while.
Yeah, and having just decent work ethics. Like when you're way up in the canopy, there is stuff that only you will know about, and so you'll be like, you'll have these little moral decisions, and it's interesting because you have to deal with things that you see up there, but sometimes those things can become time-consuming enough that there's a change order that you might have to talk about. Hey, we didn't know that this or this was going on up there, but that rarely happens. Like we never really do that. We never change the price on people, but I could see how we would wish we did sometimes. And also you're protecting the client, but you got to protect whoever you're working for, even if that's you. Sometimes people will try to take advantage.
Yeah, and
And like if you're going after, if like for example, if you're doing deadwood removal or mistletoe removal on a tree, and you stipulate on there 2-inch and larger diameter stuff is what you're going to go for.
That goes a long ways.
It takes years to rein yourself in if you're a really detailed guy, to not chase chopstick sized pieces of deadwood up there and ruin it for your employer who gave them a deal of 2-inch and larger or 3-inch and larger deadwood. Sure, you're making your boss money to a point every time the customer's happy, but you can't do it at his expense all the time. There has to be a balance.
And that's all cleared up in the paperwork and with the original estimate. Because if that's what they want, that's what you'll do. But if they're paying for it, then it's worth it. You know, but
and it's worth it to go above and beyond, but just not crazy above and beyond.
Because you can't say, okay, we're gonna go through and we're gonna get the deadwood. It's gotta be the, you know, it can't just be deadwood, you know, the fir tree. You know, you don't really reduce them that much, but you know, end weight of heavier limbs, stuff like that. It has to be deadwood, 2-inch or larger, or whatever is in that zone for the tree. You know, some trees have only tiny little pieces of deadwood everywhere. Like, I don't know, sycamores kind of sometimes have like a bunch of little dead
they
things.
have this disease called anthracnose that causes the terminals to constantly die back. But hey, I think this video is running out of time for me because I'm supposed to build a fire and do the old hot dog weenie roast marshmallow thing with the kids and family, and it's about that time. So I really look forward to going through the comments. It's so hard to like keep up. Maybe in the next few days here, I'll just like be a slave to the vortex of comments, and I'll just try to like, you know, keep up with them. But it's not easy. And if you're long-winded like me and him, then you answer one guy's question, and meanwhile like 100. That's why I like to have kind of a subject matter, stick to it, make it easy to watch, and you're welcome, Austin.
Well, and then too, it's like you'll be trying to reply to comments, and your kid or your wife will be like, when she looks over at you, you just look like this. You know, but in your mind, you're like, man, like, you know, I'm sure these people want me to reply to them. They did right, you know. So, you know, sometimes it's like, okay, you look over and the wife's looking, or, you know, kids want to talk or something, or August Haneke wants you to go get some work done.
Me and him are pretty lucky though, because Heather, my wife, and his wife, Nicole, she's they're like super supportive types, you know. They let us. I don't want to say they let us, because then that makes it sound like, you know, we're on a leash. But you know, if you're married, you gotta have a leash on yourself, right? So we're lucky. We got ladies that you know, we're out in a treehouse in the woods with a gun. How bad could it be?
Yeah, exactly.
So hey, it's awesome talking to you guys, and I'm glad Damien showed up. That was super cool. That was random.
I didn't know what you were doing up here. I was unhooking the stump grinder trailer, and I heard some like scurrying or something. I looked over, I'm like, what the heck? It looks like August is on top of his treehouse. I wonder what he's doing over there. And then I hear 22 shots when I'm unhooking.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I can't just drive out of here. I gotta walk down into the gully, climb up the treehouse, and see what he's doing.
Yeah, this is.
It was worth it.
This is gonna be a good spot. I'll make this the studio. I gotta get back to some regular videos too, though, the kind that I put effort into, and I don't just talk to the camera like this. I always feel just a little bit willy-nilly, out of, just not quite organized enough on a live video, because because I like things to be, I like an outline and I like things in order, you know, and this is a little crazy for me, but these are crazy times, and so this is what we're doing. So are we gonna be like those parents who tell the kids, we're leaving now, come on, and then they stand and talk by the door another 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Or am I gonna hit the end?
Well, he says, thanks, guys. Extempore, they call it.
Extemporaneous, I
All
bet is
right,
what
go
he
get
said.
out of here. Enjoy your fire.
Off the cuff.
People are saying bye. See you guys.
Bruce Lund. Yeah, this is fun. I really look forward to going through these comments, and the live chat comments, you can't respond to them later. So
Oh, really?
I I'm bummed about that, because I see a lot of comments that I want to respond to, but because I don't respond to them in the live chat, they're kind of gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I do kind of put them in there, and maybe they'll resurface again on another video. Thanks everybody. I'm gonna say goodbye. Have a nice night.